Hello everyone, this is Remleiz from 40k Theories, and welcome to the newest episode of Adeptus Podcastus. Joining us as always is Michael from Tactica Imperialis. Almost forgot your name for a second, I don't know why.
It would have been fine if you had, you bloody idiot. Now you cat your intro.
Hey, it could be worse, I could be going on about the Ian Watson Appreciation Hour. There we go.
Oh boy, did someone say Ian Watson?
Too early.
No, it's never too early for Ian Watson.
No, as in, you were trying to bait a head desk, you were too early.
I wasn't trying to bet a head desk, but anyway, we got plenty of time for head desk because there's a lot to get through. But yes, joining us this week is the golden banana himself, ThunderPsyker.
Hello!
We managed to drag him away from his session of Call of Duty.
Yeah, Dr. White has been kidnapping me and forcing me to play through the World at War campaign with him. I don't think I'm actually not really sure which... Oh, no, I know which Call of Duties Dr. White likes. It wouldn't be fucking World at War. I don't know why I said that. No, but I'm here. Hello, everyone. Please send help.
Oh, dear.
So, in the news this week, there is quite a lot.
Flip ton.
Yes. So, let's start with quite arguably one of the biggest things to come out recently, the reveals for Blackstone Fortress, and one thing that's really, really disappointed me. Why the fuck is the robot a man of iron?
Because they gotta come up somewhere, I guess. I don't really know.
I mean, they did say in the sort of reveal, like teaser, hinty articles, there's going to be something that even the lore experts don't know. They basically baited it and laid down the gauntlet for us, and then they put a man of iron in there.
Which I was so incredibly disappointed about, to be honest. I mean, because personally, I was hoping it was going to be an update to the old Rogue Trader Cataphract class robots, so we can actually have a complete set of the fucking things now. Considering that the Colossus became the Iron Circle, the Conqueror became the Domitar, the Castellan became the Castellax, the Crusader became the Vorax, all that we had left was the Cataphract. And it looked like a fucking Cataphract, in my opinion at least. So why didn't they just complete the fucking set?
Because, reference. To be fair.
Sorry, I was just going to say, the funny thing was, it doesn't even look like a man of iron as they were previously depicted anyway.
I mean, yeah, when I think man of iron, I do sort of think more like Fallout 4 synth.
Yeah.
But with armor.
I mean, for me, it's sort of... I kind of loosely interpret the canon, so I imagine that the Men of Iron could have been almost anything, and what the like books or anything like that currently depict, any artwork is there, is just like one type of it. But that's just more me thinking that AIs and like machines in general are going to have like so many different forms, and also because like just the entire like Dark Age technology and stuff is a complete blank in 40k, so...
Yeah, and to be fair, that might not be what the Men of Iron originally looked like, because it's basically stated in the little bits of lore we've had on it, it's hiding in plain sight as a harmless Imperial beat-boot robot. So it might have actually modified itself or covered itself in Imperial armor plating to make it look like beat-boot robot.
Yeah, I can see that.
One thing I'm very curious about is, considering that two of the explorers in the set are an ecclesiastical priest and a zealot, how are they gonna react when they find out, hey, this guy's an abominable intelligence?
I mean, the Rogue Trader will be fine with it, but there's a guy with a flamethrower chainsword running around. He's boned.
I think with the Rogue Trader, it would be a case of how much he knows about the Men of Iron, where it could just be, yeah, it's just a fucking weird servo skull without a brain. Yeah, it'll be fine, man. He's got a gun. Or if he knows a bit more about the Men of Iron, it'll be, shit. Fuck!
Don't piss off the murder bot.
Please. Does anyone know binary?
Beat boot, motherfucker.
Of course you would, Remleiz, your fucking background.
I mean, I actually can sort of write in binary. I had to learn it for my first year electronics labs. I had to learn how to do calculus in binary, so...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Not much, and I've forgotten most of it, but it's in the back of an old lab book somewhere.
Fair enough.
Also, another thing with this set, The two ratlings are not squats, they're ratlings. Stop saying they're squats, people.
Yeah. Also, Chaos have a Thunderhammer.
Yay! For the first time since Rogue Trader, I think.
About time? Like, why? That's a good question. Why wouldn't they have had Thunderhammers at all? I'm assuming it's a newer technology?
Same reason they don't have land speeders and shit.
Oh. I mean, Perturabo had Ferrous Manus's whack-off Thunderhammer.
His Iron Circle had Thunderhammers as well.
And Thunderhammers were a thing in, like, Calth and Prospero's box sets.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was just arbitrary reasons.
Dude, where's my Thunderhammer?
In essence.
Turns out the Bloodraven stole it.
Also that. Wow, what pandering. But yeah, there's a load of cool stuff in Blackstone Fortress, I'll give you. Like, I don't think I actually want to play it, but I do want to read it. Which is a start. And it actually, they've tied it quite well into the whole narrative of Gilliman's asked the Rogue Traders to expand the Imperial borders, so they've gone west, they've gone beyond the intersegmental Pacificus, and this is where the fortress has been hiding, that sort of thing. So it all ties in. It's not just, oh, we need a Warhammer Quest game. Blackstone Fortress. No, they've actually got a lore reason why they're there. Which is kind of nice.
I'm also curious as to what exactly the little spider robots are.
Yeah, like that would...
Like, are they old one tech?
Yeah, that depends on what the origin of the Blackstone Fortress is. Because obviously, if it's O1 tech, then it makes sense that the Spindlebots or whatever they call are O1 tech. Because obviously, the fortresses are older than humanity.
Yeah.
That goes without saying.
I kind of like the idea of the old ones having a bunch of different cool things, because obviously through TTS, whenever they talked about the old ones, they always talk about how they kind of create life and stuff, but I think showing the machinery that they could have is also pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean, they built the webway. That's all tech.
Yeah. Like I'm talking more in terms of the sort of. I know the webway isn't industrial, obviously, because it's magical tech, Eldarish stuff and McGuff. But yeah. I mean, like in terms of, beep boops,
cold hard steel.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But yeah, I think it's an interesting one to read. I didn't get enticed by AOS Silver Tower, and I'm not that enticed by this either as a game, which is all I can really say about it. Looks fun to read, but not to play.
Quite a few people have said that about Warhammer for years, even if you could argue they're not people who are that into the hobby anyway. So, yeah.
Touche. And anyway, moving on, more news. Let's go with the Blood and Glory Studio preview, shall we? Because there was a lot in there.
Oh yes, House Delac, where
yes,
there's like about
Delac
5 different poses where everyone looks exactly the same, just a different weapon in their hands. I mean, I know the other Necromunda gangs had very similar poses, but they actually had some more visual variety. With the Delac, it's all, everyone's bald, everyone's got goggles, and everyone's got a trench coat. They look exactly the same. It's like, this guy's holding 2 knives. This guy's holding 2 shotguns. But the pose is exactly the same. It's really glaringly obvious, and it's really off-putting.
It makes me kind of think of the way that you would, or at least the way I sort of try to differentiate my guardsmen whenever I make them on tabletop. It's like, this one will have the pistol out, and this one won't have a holster and a backpack. It's just because they all kind of look the same in their molds, though I don't expect them to update the Imperial Guard kit for fucking ages. It's fine as it is, I guess. Serviceable. Even if I think that they need the kind of overhaul that the Space Marine squad's got, and that a lot of the modern models are in general. But no, I can sort of see that when you have models that don't have hats or helmets, that they do start to all look like fucking clones.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as much an issue in actual big armies, because you expect a kind of uniformity with, trained soldiers, uniforms, and that armor, that kind of thing. Yeah. But with a gang, where everyone's supposed to have, everyone's got a theme, but everyone's also unique.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the Goliath and the Escher by comparison, you can see similar poses, but you don't think it's the same pose.
Yeah.
So, whereas with a Delac, you do.
Yeah, it's something that always sort of made me very cautious about. So this is something I've not really talked about, but back when I was a wee bab and I was considering buying Fantasy as well as 40k, for whatever weird reason, I wanted to go as Chaos. And I sort of saw the Chaos units and I got really worried that they were all... Because I'd want to have multiple of the same unit, and they'd all look far too similar because they're from a set, obviously, and that limitation is always going to be there. But to me, with something like Chaos, whether it be cultists, whether it be footmen, whether it be like demons and spawns and things like that, they're all going to look similar. And for something that is chaotic, all about change, it gets worrying. I'd say that
that makes sense.
I'd say the bigger one that I get worried about, which obviously this one's a complex one and it's been talked about for years, orcs, and how the orc models are normally fine, but it's just when it comes to the vehicles, the battle wagon and a lot of the vehicles all being one set, and there being this big clamp down on trying to do proxy stuff. That's always kind of bothered me because I thought this goes against the orcs entirely.
Yeah, we'll get on to actually doing something custom with the orcs a little later, I think. But yeah, I get your point. The one thing I'd say with the Delac is they remind me of the Thin Men from XCOM for no good reason.
Well, I mean, they do have that sort of aura to them. I kind of get what you mean. Then again, I'm going to be biased towards that because I fucking love XCOM stuff.
I've been seeing a lot of Dark City jokes in regards to the new Delac models. Which is a thing that I don't think many people will be getting. The movie that was basically The Matrix before The Matrix came out.
Well, yeah, when you have anything like that, where it's the same thing of Hunger Games and Battle Royale, right? It's now kind of the new hip thing to go, oh, Battle Royale was cooler, it did it first. But it's like, yeah, but you didn't actually hear of it beforehand, did you? But
yeah.
No, to be fair, what else is kind of like that? I actually can't think of any better examples. But for some reason I just started thinking about that cartoon called Reboot, and I was like, I could have sworn there's another cartoon about going into cyberspace that got really popular. And
I know there was VR Troopers.
Oh,
but that was like a Power Rangers ripoff.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I gotta be honest, a lot of Power Rangers stuff blends together so much. When I was younger, I tried to remember which one I watched, and I genuinely couldn't. It was like, there was Ninja Force, and then there was Samurai Guys, and Beastie Boys, I don't fucking know. The Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I'm just getting into boy bands now.
How the hell did you go from Power Rangers to boy bands?
Because let's be real here. Some, like, boy band names you probably could claim to be a Power Rangers tie-in, right? Like NSYNC. Power Rangers NSYNC. That would be a thing. Power Rangers Westlife, where they're fucking cowboys.
Okay, how are you going to explain Power Rangers Boyzone?
Power Rangers Boyzone! They don't have the pink or the yellow one.
Oh, that's sexist. Oh.
But it's called Boyzone! What the fuck? I mean... Fair. Maybe I should be a bit more fucking careful. Well, now you've put me on caution for the rest of the night. Jesus Christ. All right. Enough about Power Rangers and boy bands.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's.
Yeah. Staying with that preview. Now let's talk about something that orcs do for custom. Chapter approved. Looted wagons.
Yeah.
Yes, looted. This should have been in chapter approved from the start. Like, why did they put custom land raiders in? Like, fuck custom land raiders. Looted wagons.
I honestly forgot that custom land raiders were a thing.
I've not heard of custom land raiders. What the hell?
I only remember because I bought it to check the balance pass. That was all I did.
Okay.
So yeah, looted wagons will be coming to open play. Unfortunately, they won't be in the main base matched game, but they're there. They'll look fun if you enjoy converting various vehicles or bugs to look like orky things.
Yeah, Oh, yeah, sorry. I just kind of realized what you're talking about. I thought for a moment you were saying that they were legitimizing, like, full-on proxy, but no. If it's the idea that they're converting just the other vehicles that are in the game, like Dark Eldar stuff or Space Marine tanks and stuff like that, then fuck yeah. Yeah, we should have had that for ages. That's great. I can kind of see why it would mess with the balance of the game, I suppose, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little early to get a sort of meta report on the orcs and how they're doing. I've heard they've been crunching a lot of people, but I don't know. I haven't seen enough data yet. I'm sure the comments will correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm probably the one who needs the most correcting here because a lot of nearly all my Warhammer knowledge comes from hearsay and just whatever anyone else that I work with knows. Which is weird because more recently I did actually start going to the local Games Workshop store and doing some painting with a friend of mine. But
did they recognise you as the creator of the Emperor's Finest?
I mean, maybe I should have told them, but what you've got to note, Remleiz, is that I think in the Emperor's Finest itself there is like a brief image where you can see how I actually looked as a 9-year-old, but now I have aged like milk. I have a beard, for one.
Aged like milk?
Yes, I have. I look like I'm 40 because I've been making a conscious effort to not look like I'm 12. I'm in that horrible middle ground, and so no, it's quite funny. I briefly mentioned that Dr. White is currently over in the same place I live now, or at least he tweeted about it a little while ago. He came over for an open day at one of the universities here, and I've made such a conscious effort to draw no attention to myself the entire time I've just lived in Norwich. And meanwhile, walking around the university campus, Dr. White just loudly goes, "So how about the new script for TTS, right? Episode 26 is looking good." And I'm just like, no, fuck you, goddammit.
I mean, to be fair, I've only been clocked in my GW after the fact. Really? So like, someone happened to be watching a game I was playing, and then I made a video on the topic, and they left a comment.
Oh, okay.
Like, no one's actually called me out, in spite of the fact that I'm a bit more public in what I look like on YouTube, and the comments never shut up about it.
I mean, you're gonna get that. That kind of happens with any personality that reveals their face. I contemplated making my reviews more AVGN Jontron-ish for a while, and having me actually be live, like, filmed for them, for the stuff on my YouTube channel. But I've decided against it. One, because my self-esteem has just hit the floor. And two, because I guess it's not necessary for the kind of stuff I make. And maybe that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know. But at the same time, a lot of the guys that have been on the podcast as well, or have worked on TTS, do quite a bit of sort of face camish stuff. I mean, like Snipe and Wib, obviously. Alexis does as well, and
yeah, I think it depends on what you want your content to be. So like, I do a lot, like my lore videos, I'm completely off the camera because they're like recounting, like you do your reviews and I recount history, and Rem's the same. Whereas when I want to give an opinion piece, generally I'll go on camera because I find it easier to gesticulate my point with a lot of hand. I'm doing it right now with hand movements and emphasizing a point. So it depends on like what sort of content you're doing.
Yeah, it's worth being aware of what kind of speaker you are in general, because if you do use a lot of body language to speak to people in real life, then it's probably worth people seeing that when you're actually talking online. It helps you. Sometimes it can just give like a weird bit of context to what you're saying that otherwise could be easily misinterpreted, which is very common on the internet. Everyone probably knows about those moments where you can't read sarcasm through text and that kind of thing. And that can translate to all kinds of conversation, especially with there are some things that are sort of universal, and I think with something like Warhammer, where I don't know about your guys' analytics, but I notice on mine at least, and I think from what I've heard about with TTS, a lot of people from a lot of different countries like Warhammer. North and Western Europe, America, Australia, obviously, and you kind of get the odd few that sort of appear from Asia and South Africa, and as well as the rest of Europe. I don't know why I said...
Yeah, it's quite widespread.
Most of my analytics come from Finland, of all places.
Really?
Yeah, I think...
Like 40% Finland.
I think the reason I say North and West Europe the most over the rest of it is because on my analytics, like, the top 5 are the ones that I feel like you guys get as well, which is America, UK, Canada, Australia, and Germany. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right in my head as well.
But with Finland, obviously.
Yeah, because my other 5 are... This is in no particular order. Sweden, Finland, sometimes it's Russia, Poland, and then the 10th is anywhere from Denmark, the Netherlands, or Brazil. And it's like, that is so broad. Like, that's a surprisingly...
That's certainly a range, yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of takes me aback, but also kind of makes me appreciate the fandom in general, as well as just how these things unite people into discussion, or just the reach that Warhammer has kind of across the world, which is pretty neat. I realise I say that like it's some kind of bloody like hive mind or something. The reach it has across the world. Soon we will all be indoctrinated. We'll all collect space marines on tabletop.
No, but you make a fair point in that the hobby is something that is not very localised. It started off as probably about 10 blokes in a shop in Nottingham, but it's gone very much worldwide. And when you are a content creator, just go back to what we were originally discussing, you really do have to sort of accentuate what you're on about, because we're British, and British sarcasm is one of the easiest and also hardest to detect, depending on where you come from. So it's a real interesting one. I have a friend
of mine who is one of those people where half the time it's so clear they're being sarcastic, and the other half of the time you just cannot figure out if what they're saying is genuinely serious or not. It's just it sucks because a friend of mine has been picking up on the same like sort of way of being sarcastic, and when I don't get it, they go, "Oh, surely you should know this because you've been around so and so," and I've been like, "Yeah, I have," but even then, I've known that guy for 10 years, and I still can't figure it out, but.
Yeah, I get it. Oh, yes, this. The 8 are back. Sorry, just to go back into news.
Surely
the 8 are back.
The Tower Rangers.
Motherfucker. Okay, I think we can close the podcast here. We're done. We hit the peak.
That's an old joke from like 25 episodes ago.
Shit, really? Fuck.
That's an old joke.
It made Thunder laugh, that's all that matters.
That's a very old joke.
Well, speaking of which, have you heard about Captain Boreal? Very funny man.
Yes, he's your adoptive brother, isn't he?
Yeah, we grew up together in the fields of Norfolk. It's one of the reasons why he's got some problems. I remember taking him down to the local Burger King, and no one survived. It was very tragic. I really don't understand what got him so riled up, but he didn't like it there.
Someone asked if he wanted fries, and he went, "No."
Yeah, he did. He just yelled, and everyone dropped to the floor. It was, I mean, Christ. It didn't help that naturally, like, despite the fact we're kind of adopted siblings, right? He's like 9 foot tall. He's taller for a space marine, even. Although it might be the stilts that was doing that. But enough about Boreal and my dumb fucking. What are we going with this?
I have no idea. But
I don't know. You started it.
Tall space marines. Thunder, did you see the thing I put in the work chat in regards to that 4 meter tall custodian?
If I did, I've completely gone blank. Which one is this?
Basically, it's from one of the Beast Arises books. I think it's from Last Son of Dawn. I think it could be from an earlier book, but basically there's a scene where a custodian comes in with the Tears of the Emperor and he's 4 meters tall.
That's about 12 foot for people who speak not metric.
Basically, we need to get Alpha to have Gigantostodes in TTS.
We do. What sucks is I obviously can't spoil much of it, but like episode 27, Elephas has recently put out some art for some more custodians, and it's such a missed opportunity for us to now bloody have a big boy in there. Maybe we could obviously do it later in the series, but. You know what I think it should be like? You know that bit in The Simpsons where Nelson taunts that guy in the Volkswagen, he gets out and he's like huge?
Yes.
Like, he's like 10 foot tall. We should have that. He just rolls up in one of the custodian transports and just gets out and intimidates
the hover rhino, and he gets out and he's taller than the rhino.
Yeah, like I don't know, Magnus or one of the custodians or something, like one of the Fab Custodians just taunts him, and he gets out and he's like, "Oh, I didn't realise it was you, Brother Humongous."
Everyone needs a drop pod, even the very tall.
This was the largest drop pod they had at the store. Now I'm just liking the idea that they have to, Space Marines have to buy drop pods. They, you know, obviously they manufacture everything else, but only drop pods, just drop pods, outsourced. Rogue traders buy them and sell them.
Indeed. So, in other news, a bit of a strange Doctor Who invasion in regards to actors from Doctor Who. We've got 2 narrators to do the Warhammer Adventures, but we're getting David Tennant and Billy Piper, and then we're getting Catherine Tate as Inquisitor Greyfax. So, we've got some relatively big names following Brian Blessed.
Yeah, I think that I feel like Billy Piper and David Tennant has to be a deliberate choice, right? Because not just because they were in Doctor Who, but because they were like, well, they were in the same season. So I wonder if that was their intent, or if it was just some weird coincidence where they just went, well, we want these actors, but we wanted these other ones, and they said no. So we got the Doctor and Rose.
Indeed.
Yeah. Still, if it opens up the floodgates for more sort of bigger names to get into also be doing this stuff for Warhammer, that'll be fantastic. Imagine Benedict Cumberbatch. They're doing one of the Warhammer books.
I don't even remember what his voice sounds like. He's so indistinctive.
Well, the way I always try to remember it is the one time that he narrated a wildlife documentary, and in that, it was about penguins, but he can't say penguin, or at least he couldn't while he was recording that. So he would say penguins. So that's the worst. Yeah, he was just going, but what makes them so resilient to these penguins? It was something like that. I don't know how someone can physically struggle just saying the word penguin and say penguin. And for everyone, and in a recording studio where naturally there are takes, it's not live, so someone can go, Ben, could you maybe try that one again and actually say the word right? But then again, I knew a guy who couldn't say the word revenant. He said renavant, which whatever works. That's one of my favourite Leonardo DiCaprio films, The Revenant.
Was that when Zoram was rebuilding someone's house?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think Zoran should have got the Oscar. In general, you know, Zoran's a great guy, and things I think really went downhill when, you know, he had to be in a live action version of Goldilocks, and it was clear he was really not enjoying his time on set, you know?
But the porridge wasn't the right temperature either, so...
No. I feel like at this point I've caused half of your cast to like turn off the podcast with my stupid shit.
In fairness, you've kept more on track than what Snipe and Whip did or what Fresh and Carl did, so you're fine.
I feel like the Fresh and Carl one is barely like a line to draw, because at that point, like, I love Fresh and Carl. They are some fantastic guys, but that was kind of one of the best and worst episodes of this podcast I've ever listened to.
It was
the one
an experience.
I think I was on the
dream.
Yeah, I think I was on the one afterwards, wasn't I? And that was what I thought the podcast was like. Anyway, so let me tell you a bit more about confectionery cakes.
We could talk about the
cake.
Sorry, I don't mean to be that guy dragging everything back to something
Someone has to
relevant,
rein in the podcast eventually. Zoran has gone through this on bare necessity, so...
And before you know, we'll be going back to Ian Watson.
I take your point.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Top man.
So yeah, Siege of Terror, it's going to be 8 books long. Shorter than I expected.
Indeed, and... Yeah, I thought it might have been... I knew it was going to be like less than 20, though I didn't want to put
I was
any sort of
expecting
hard
around
number
12.
on it. Yeah.
I guess it is a pretty big event, though I feel like 8 is enough to keep things concise. But I guess it entirely depends on what parts of it they're going to be splitting up and how much they're going to go into. But...
Well, part 1 actually barely seems like it's going to involve terror at all.
Oh, sweet.
It's
so it's
the
going to be like
Solar
the full
War.
for each book. Sorry, for context, the first Halo book written, which, Halo books, bleh, I know, is called The Fall of Reach, and it has nothing... The Fall of Reach is the final chapter out of, 7 or 8, and it's not even on Reach, it's just... It's a good book, but it's so tangential. But I suppose people could say the same thing about the Horus Heresy to a degree. It was taking place, the Horus Heresy books take place during the Horus Heresy, but they're not all about Horus. They're about, the bajillion different Imperial
in fairness,
subfactions.
With the Horus Heresy, you got, at least 30 different main characters?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where whenever the inevitable discussion of Horus Heresy movie, who's cast, it's like, okay, first of all,
everyone.
That wouldn't be a movie. You'd have to make several movies. You'd have to James Cameron's Avatar it, where you're deciding I'm going to make 5 sequels at once. That kind of thing's better suited as a TV show, and even then, that's a big thing to bank on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But in regards to the Solar War, it's actually going to be very interesting because they've actually talked there's an interview with the author, John French, that Battle Library put up. And he talks about a lot of stuff, and they were saying that the Imperial death count is going to get pretty nuts.
As it should.
Because let's be honest, how many Imperials have to live? Because it's not many.
I suppose, yeah, and it's also naturally going to be high anyway because we're dealing with, the Sol system. There are trillions, not trillions, but billions there.
But in terms of characters that have been named throughout the Heresy series, the only ones that off the top of my head that I can think of that need to live are Sigismund, Askelon, Khan, obviously, Dawn, obviously, and I'm running out of names of people who actually need to live.
Which...
So they can kill almost anybody.
At the same time, though, I wonder if they will... if they'll decide to subvert that and actually not kill off many of the cast. Just purely because I think everyone's going to expect that to be a bloodbath. And naturally, when you do kill off too many characters at once, you're going to make those deaths kind of meaningless almost. where you just go, oh, look, they're gone. I guess it entirely depends on, person by person. I feel like, for the most part, a lot of people are pretty cool with the death counts in 40k books in general, which are, I'm not gonna say they're too high, but they are. It's Warhammer. But
yeah.
It's just sort of making me think about like why friends of mine got disillusioned with like Game of Thrones, where they just gave up because they didn't care. Like anyone they got any time to get attached to was immediately, and it was like, right, cool.
Yeah, and he also talks in the interview about the dramatis personae, the main characters for Solar War. There's a lot of cameos that they've got to set a flip ton up in this book. They've got to get everybody in place. But the main four are Sigismund, Abaddon, Loken, and Mercedioliton are the main characters. So Loken's back again, and I get the feeling I don't think Loken's coming out of this series alive. I don't think he's coming out alive. I don't know when he's going to die. He might die in the Solar War. He might die later, but I don't think he's surviving this.
Despite the series being called Siege of Terror, will all 8 books actually take place during the Siege of Terror, or will some parts take place just after it? Like, will we have, the war between the Dark... Well, not just that, but things like, the Dark Angels returning to Caliban, the fight between the Fallen and that. Because that was literally immediately after the siege. And it was kind of a big deal, so...
I'd say so. Like, it makes a lot of sense to try and incorporate events like that, especially when they're back-to-back into the same sort of series. But at the same time, I can also see why, at that point, you'd go, wait, only 8? Because... once again, that's another big event. But no, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
I mean, considering that some of the Horus Heresy stories, that have actually been written, some of the short stories have taken place long after the Horus Heresy. Like, you got one where it's like, hey, this is a Horus Heresy story starring the Size of the Emperor chapter. Wait, what? Well, here's a bit... Yeah.
Like, I was going to say, like, they're definitely not 30k.
It was, like, about 2,000 years after.
Oh, they were... okay, so they're older than I remember. For a moment, I thought they were made in, like, 36... Millennium 36.
No, they are second founding or third
founding. And obviously,
let's
not forget, that one's story where Demon Korax fights Demon Lorgar on Sakaris after the heresy, and it's like, what?
That sounds like a fever dream.
He turned into a flock of birds.
Yes, we don't talk about that.
Oh god, it's this!
I mean, it's still not as bad as Ferrus Maz catching a las cannon bolt with his hand and breaking it.
I mean, that boy...
Magic hands! I catch a laser! Shatter!
I was about to say, they're the iron hands, not the magic hands. Christ.
I am the magic hand who had a daughter. See if anyone actually remembers that song.
Give a reward to someone who can identify it in the comments. Like, even
it's from the Beavis and Bud Do America soundtrack, if that helps. But anyway, God, I'm showing my age now.
That's fair. Whenever I'm around here, I just show like how like I was very clearly born at the very end of the 90s. So,
yes, you're just a little pup.
Yeah, speaking of which, have you guys heard about Robot Wars? A wedge flips over another wedge. It's really good.
Best series would have had Jeremy Clarkson as the host, but anyway, moving on. Sisters of Battle Beta Codex.
Moving on. Indeed. We knew this was coming. This has been coming for months, but they gave us a stratagem and a order thingy, the equivalent to a chapter tactic. And they're quite powerful. They're not nothing, these benefits. So the tactic, as soon as this blooming webpage loads, give me a second. +1 strength and attacks in the first round of combat. Basically. So, yeah, I like my Sisters of Battle to be actually more competent in a fight than Space Marines.
I mean, like, I've always kind of seen the Sisters of Battle and Space Marines as peers. I kind of get that game balance things are naturally going to be, like, kind of all over the place. But, yeah. I'm not so sure about them being, like, immediately presenting them as better. And this is coming from someone who always advocates for the Sisters of Battle being kick-ass. But, you know...
I mean, it's better than that one story when an entire convent of Sisters of Battle got wiped out by a single Hellbrute.
Oh,
that was stupid.
It keeps happening.
Like, they have the holy trinity of Bolter, Flamer, Melter Gun. Did none of them have a fucking Melter Gun?
The Melter Gun did nothing to a Hellbrute, apparently. It was stupid. It was stupid.
That's
I think it was Nick Carm who wrote that, so blame him.
Are the Sisters of Battle, like... There's kind of a trope called the Wharf Effect, where you build up something to... Or at least you say something is strong so that you can constantly have it be defeated to prove that something else is powerful and a threat.
So Avatar of Cain.
Yeah. Oh, okay. The Avatar's a better example. I was going to ask, have the Sisters of Battle become the Wharf of 40k? But no, you're right.
That's still the Avatar of Cain is still the whipping boy.
I remember reading the Marnius Calgar fighting the Avatar of Cain.
Yeah. Calgar's killed one, Dante's killed one, Lorgar's killed one. I think Gazgul's killed one at some point, probably. Everyone's killed one.
A Beast of Nurgle or three has
Keeper
killed
of Secrets
one.
possessed one and then did fuckery.
It's kind of a bit of a...
Gene Stealer turned into one.
You're fucking kidding.
No, that's canon.
Okay.
No.
You know what this has reminded me of? This has reminded me of
Ian Watson?
No, I've only read one Ian Watson book and there was no Avatar in it. But in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fandom, there's a character called Kars who becomes the ultimate life form, and ever since that happened... I mean, when he was being called the ultimate life form, that's what I fucking joked about, and everyone was like, "That was stupid. Don't get that in my anime." And yeah, but no, the fandom has now gone like, "Oh, this character could be Ultimate Cars, and this character could be Ultimate Cars," and it's like, could fucking everyone be Ultimate Cars? Like, it's not really an ultimate life form if every magic ghost can beat this guy.
It's only a hedgehog.
So yeah, Shadow the Hedgehog got deconfirmed for Smash, and
Waluigi doesn't get a place but a fucking potted plant can.
Yeah, oh boy. I have a friend of mine who's a genuine advocate for Piranha Plant over Waluigi, and
he deserves a smack in the face.
We got close. And I'm the kind of person that's normally like what you want to like, and everyone have a good time. Nah, I'm not having that shit. Waluigi has character. He's not a nothing character. He's a tall boy with a bad breath, probably,
and a mustache.
Fantastic mustache. But enough about gangly boys with mustaches. Let's go back to the Oh, right, this is the battle. I was about to say, let's go back to the gangly boys in Warhammer, and I remembered, wait, no.
There might be a Sister of Battle with a lovely mustache we don't know yet.
Well, the other thing they've done...
Let's not go here.
Well, one thing they have given the Sisters of Battle is the ability to fire their flamers as they arrive via deep strike. So on the first, when you set some Seraphim up, you get double range hand flamers.
That
you can shoot them
is
twice.
Absurd and great at the same time.
Like, it just makes so much sense that you just got them coming down and just blasting everything with flamers. Imagery-wise, it's excellent.
I think something that's a bit understated about a lot of the kind of deep strike rules, I feel, is that they kind of just assume it's sort of like a video game where everyone just sort of appears. Like, They've spawned. They're here now. But it's like, no, they have guns. They're going to do something cool to come down. It's Warhammer. So it's all about this really awesome imagery. Why aren't they doing shit? I guess it's game balance.
Yeah.
Well, the idea back in 5th edition and 4th edition was Zagstruck was like the only person who could charge off a deep strike, and the lore reason was because his dive that he did was basically just a swooping dive to kick somebody's face off with his power clawed feet. But the fact that they've had to nerf deep strike into the floor means that it has lost some of its impact.
Metas and stuff built around it, or armies. Like, I don't know what your guys' stance is on this, but there's this infamous story about someone at a tournament who had almost their entire army in reserve, and someone else deployed their force so stretched along the board that with the deep strike rules, the other player couldn't actually put any of his units on the board because they needed to be. You can only deep strike a certain distance away from these units, and he couldn't come on the board, so he lost by default.
Yes. Yeah. There's a reason that they made it 50% of your points and power must be on the board.
I mean, it does kind of I'm not entirely up to date with the scenario rules or the the different sort of battles you can do in 8th edition now, but it does seem odd to have an army show up to fight nothing. Because isn't the entire point of the game starting that that's when the combat begins? Which once again, that's like a scenario. That's like a scenario rule, isn't it? It's a sort of a. That's the point.
I mean, I can come up with lore reasons why. You can sort of have the idea of a scouting force that goes on ahead, hits the big red button, down come the reserves, or there are ways and means of justifying it. They're not all very good.
For me, it's just more a case of I've always kind of I have very, very, very few ideas about what the meta of Warhammer competitively is. But I would have assumed that a lot of these rules are built around a basic scenario of army on one end of the table, army on the other end. They show up to fight. And to me, I feel like the base rule should probably be built around that. So I agree.
Yeah, they were, but what happened was one army had bigger guns and just mowed down the other one before they got a chance to do anything.
I've been under the impression that's still kind of how it is, because apparently Imperial Guard and Tau are...
Imperial Guard are just... No, Tower... I don't know where Tau are, but Tower... Well, Tau got out of the dumpster fire. They were in pre-codex, but Tau are nowhere most of the time. Guard are the Guard are up there. They're insane.
Scutari?
So I hear.
That's another one I heard.
Not sure. I kind of track AOS's tournament more than I track 40K.
I'm kind of basing this off what Randolph, who voices Asbradale Vecht in Emperor TTS, what he said. But apparently, 8th edition very heavily rewards armies that are massive firing lines now, rather than melee or...
Yeah, it's a bit crap. I mean, melee hasn't been good since
back when you could genuinely hurt someone by hitting them with the rulebook. So, reflect it. It's ludonarrative cohesion, as they would say at my university. God, I feel like I'm going to vomit.
It means you're learning something.
Yeah, I am. And I've still got a lot more learning to do after I graduate. Jesus Christ. But, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. The one other thing that I did want to call attention to in terms of going back to miniatures and tabletop is...
yes, Wrath and Rapture.
Yeah, new Flesh Hounds, new Fiends, and probably new at least Herald of Slaanesh on the way. We've heard tell of a new Karanak, though that's not confirmed yet. At the time of recording, may have been in the interluding days. Have you seen
this? This
these?
is the first I've heard about new demons, so...
it's basically for a new game that's demons versus demons, called Realm of Chaos.
Sick.
Yeah, Khorne versus
I'm down.
Slaanesh.
That's that's the kind of thing I always like, is the fact that chaos, obviously, one of the big things I hear from everyone is the whole like, oh, the world seems to be built around chaos constantly winning, but they do fight each other. The gods all have separate goals and ambitions. But so, hey, anything that sheds more light on that, I'm down with.
And people are happy because the Fiends of Slanesh are keeping their tits.
Yeah,
so people are happy.
I mean, like, the Herald of Slanesh here, I remember seeing really old miniatures of it some time ago, but it was one of my favourite designs for a Slaneshi creature, just because it's so weird. It's of course it's got a billion boobs, but it's for me, it kind of works with how I interpret Slanesh, where it isn't just lol sex joke, and it's this bizarre perversion of so many weird things that would be elegant if they were all separated, because that's like pride and imagery and everything like that's a big part of Slanesh. It's why, barring Lucius's scars and things, you get people like Fulgrim who are beautiful, but when they're all meshed together into a raw form like a Slaneshi demon is, they are just and that's cool. I like that. Similarly, this might sound hypocritical, but similarly, while I'm not one of these people who thinks that I know another complaint is like the whole demonette models. It's like, they make the demonettes ugly now, and I kind of get that, maybe you should have... I kind of understand why demonettes would be like super pretty, given their nature of what they do. But things like this Herald of Slanesh, where it's just everything's hitting the fan, fuck yeah, that's the kind of design I love. I think
I've just dropped the designs in our little group chat, so if you haven't seen, you can have a look at them in there. But the Fiends are really, the back legs are actually backwards.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. It may just be me. I'm not a huge fan of the flesh hounds.
I like the flesh hounds. I like that one that's got the axe blade for a tail. That's just adorable.
That kind of reminds me of a dinosaur. I think the older designs always had the weird webbed manes, didn't they?
Yeah, they've had them since about 5th edition fantasy.
Yeah. I've had them a long time. I don't know. I never liked the design to begin with, and so making them look more like dinosaur devil dogs hasn't...
they're just a generic hellhound concept, though, in fairness.
Well, I mean, like, the kind of, like, the imagery of, like, a canine-like beast, like a wolf or something like that, it's always a pretty effective image for, at the very least, like, people from the US and England, that kind of thing. The Neverending Story, that fucking wolf, that piece of shit scared the shit out of me. But I do get why, like, Khorne or like any kind of chaos god that's on that level is not just gonna put a dog out there. But I do agree, I think I like the Herald's design more than the Hellhounds. But it's, with the Hellhounds, there's like little bits I can pick off where I'm like, yeah, this is neat. I sort of like, I'm liking that they're not all entirely uniform in how they look, because some of them have got the weird fur and some of them have the kind of almost reptilian back claws. Are you calling me tangenting a little bit just because we're talking about designs? So 5th edition D&D, I run it quite a bit, but I was talking to a friend of mine about shadow demons in that, because I'm running a game and his characters encountered a shadow demon. The design of the shadow demon is lame. It's just... It looks demonic. Let me see if I can get a picture. D&D 5e shadow demon. It's demonic and it's traditional, but it's pretty black. Like it's
generic.
It's probably too generic. And meanwhile,
trophy.
There's another creature called the Shadow, which is what he thought the Shadow Demon is, and he liked it way more, and I can sort of see his point. Where the Shadow in 5th edition D&D, it might look just like a kind of humanoid figure that kind of forms into a block. But I think for the concept of something that's hidden away or is one with the shadows. It's that kind of stark simplicity that works really well for the concept, and it's just gushing about some homebrew stuff. But I think as far as the designs for Chaos is concerned, I like it when they vary things up, but they don't make it clash with some kind of like effect of it.
Yeah, and I think there's been a case, there's certain models that are very culpable for this, that are over-designed. And I think that's sort of what you're getting at with this whole shadow demon thing. It's very tropey, but it's also a bit
I think
much.
It's at least me looking at this from like a wargaming standpoint. There is a appeal of having rows of things that all kind of look the same. And I feel like Chaos is a pretty cool one for having all these guys, like all these really different designs. But I can also see why you would want some things to have like a little bit of uniformity. Out of the like Khorne Berserkers, Plague Marines, Noise Marines, and the Thousand Suns, Rubric Marines. When I was younger, I always liked the Rubric Marines the most because they were kind of sinister in how robotic they were in their simplicity. But once again, I feel like a massive hypocrite because I just complain about Orc War Wagons looking all the same, but I think the inverse is also kind of something to consider.
It really does depend though, because I used to play fantasy, and back then I loved the idea of having rank upon rank of lined up spearmen just come at me, and I've got lines of dudes waiting for you. They can all look pretty much the same because they're all a uniform army. They're a cohesive whole. Whereas with orcs, they are a ragtag mess. They're supposed to be ragtag. So it's not just about personal preference. It's about the army. It's about the game system, because AOS doesn't really value regimented stuff the same way that fantasy did. And 40k, orcs, demons, guardsmen, space marines, they're not held to the same standards of uniformity.
Which is odd. Which is odd for something like Imperial Guard, because, naturally they are in regiments. Though war is different in the 41st millennium compared to, the fantasy
Just
world.
A tad.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to tell Catachan to take his regimentally assigned clothes over the ones he's got?
Catachans are always going to be a different case. A Mordian and a Catachan, you couldn't have, I feel like those are the complete polar opposites on the Imperial Guard sort of fighting style, which I adore. I like the fact that... to gush about Warhammer in general, I love the fact that my favourite faction has these two complete stark opposites, and I love them both. And just in general, all the Warhammer factions I think are fucking cool. I can't think of... Despite all the memes, I like every faction in Warhammer, even the Tau.
Yeah, but we've seen with Chaos that they can really do that non-uniformity. So... one of the other releases or previews that we got was the new Dark Oath Godsworn.
Yeah.
The new warband for the Underworlds game. And they have shown with the chieftains and the war queens and now this, that they can do that non-uniformity of these chaos worshipping tribes people and really pull it off. Including having a hellhound-ish. So it really works both ways. You can have some uniformity and some not. You're not a hypocrite for wanting one thing and not the other.
It's just more the whole, I think that both of those factions have their kind of appeals, and I think that orcs definitely, I think orcs definitely get the most out of conversion and individuality in the units, and more importantly, the vehicles. But I think that Chaos is also a really good contender for that, but that, I think with demons, I guess I'm going to step back a little bit and say that, looking at those two shadow demon designs that I've thrown in the chat, I can kind of see, Chaos Demon's also sort of working in the same kind of way, and I can see value in either, but it's sort of something, rules of visual design, something. I'm at an arts uni, I swear, guys. I totally know what I'm talking about, and don't skip lectures. That's true.
You're an art student, you don't
Legit,
have
I speak to guys who are at the normal uni in the same city, and they're always like, "Oh, mate, like you don't go in every day, but you're gonna miss these lectures. Like I have these seminars that go on for 8 hours," and it's like, "Yeah, no, we like our scheduled sessions is to go into a workshop and do some shit for like an hour and leave,
Then play Call of Duty.
and then I go home and play Call of Duty." Fuck. It's gonna be sod's law that White's gonna come in here and actually fucking say that now.
You'll just call him and say anime was a mistake again.
Speaking of which, so
I
That
don't
was
care.
50 episodes
Oh,
ago
God, you're
to
right.
the episode.
wait, really? Like, shit. God, it's been like,
Yeah,
wow. I mean,
that's 50 to the
can I just
episode.
like briefly say congratulations, guys, on having this thing go on for so damn long and consistently keep it entertaining.
Why, thank you.
I think some of the other, like, people in the comments could probably say that far better than I can, but you guys have always been a joy to listen to and also participate in. There's a fucking doorbell's just gone off. Just a second.
It's Dr. White. He's come for you.
If it is Doctor, oh my fucking god!
Is it?
Guys,
Fucking flashback, so.
you.
What timing?
I'm gonna just unplug my headphones briefly.
That's fucking
I got some flashbacks from
ridiculous.
soap.
You'd think this was planned or something.
As if it was all a made a plan.
It completely
It was just
fucking
more the fact that,
wasn't.
like, I briefly said earlier, like, it's gonna be Sod's Law White will show up, and half a minute later.
Yep. It's almost as if it was planned or something.
No. So for the
Again.
as in 50 episodes
Again,
ago,
it's
White turns up late.
It's my modum operandi. I live down the road
Modus,
from
come
our
on.
good boy Connor now, so I can kick his door in and call him a dick.
Yeah.
And you can break into mine and eat all of our food.
I mean, I do spend most of my time loitering in your porch, so
It's bemusing.
yeah. We were just talking about Chaos Demons
Oh, dear.
and new models and conversions and shit.
Oh shit, nice.
Yeah.
Looking forward. Anyone particularly been announced?
The conversion kits for orc war buggies and wagons and stuff like that, and there's new rules for the Sisters of Battle as well.
There's no conversion kits.
Oh
for
right,
Limited
sorry,
Wagons.
like,
It's just
I
they give you the
completely
rules to make your
misinterpreted
own.
that earlier. There's also been the Heralds of Slanesh have gotten their model again
Fiends.
after a billion years.
Fiends.
Ooh.
Oh, Fiends of Slanesh.
Fiends.
Fiends of Slanesh.
Fiends.
Fiends of Slanesh. And
Yeah, they're fiends.
the Bloodhounds.
Fleshhounds.
Fleshhounds. Fuck!
You are fucking this up today, aren't you? boy?
I do enjoy War Mace 40k. My favourite faction, the Emperor Guard.
Personally, I like the Shadow Elves. Shut up!
That's actually a
Talk
thing.
about
Age of Sigmar. It's kind of half my channel at this point. I have an army of Shadow and Blood Elves.
I'm not gonna sing Age of Sigmar's praise. I'm not allowed to. Even if I do play it.
It's okay. You're 3 doors away from Jack. Like there's enough space. He's not going to scream at you.
I feel this is like turning into some kind of weird BBC British sitcom thing now.
I mean, my life has become a sitcom since. Don't make me.
Or,
get
you
this
know,
bit.
all it needs is to have Robert Lindsay as Thunder's dad. You know,
I mean, that'd be...
Timmy, care to join me in my office?
Oh, God.
People are now listening thinking, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
I've shown up, and everyone's IQ points have dropped like 20.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I've already been whittling them down.
Remember the Dick Cities?
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about Ian Watson yet.
So welcome to this new impromptu episode of the Ian Watson Appreciation Hour.
I've arrived and ruined everything. So, before I rudely showed up and pissed all over your carefully planned episode, other than the cool new sick demons, what was the conversation at hand?
We've talked about looted wagons. We've talked about the Siege of Terror. We've talked about David Tennant doing Warhammer Adventures. We've talked about... Well, we tried to talk about the 8 and then Remleiz distracted. It was with Tower Rangers. We've had Sister Battle. We've had a lot of stuff in the news over the past couple of weeks, and I haven't even got to talk about the Orcs once. Because I've got the Codex in front of me with all the new lore.
Yeah.
Good.
It was us complaining.
That was like first on the agenda.
Yes, I am angry. I am very disappointed.
I'm also angry.
My disappointment is very immeasurable right now.
It is vast and deep, much like my seething hatred.
Ugh. What can you do? Probably quite a bit. More importantly, not bringing, the Men of Iron when they did. But, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one faction that probably was... you could reference it in the Heresy, but it was the... When did the Men of Iron rebel? It was M20...
23,
Shit was
wasn't it?
really early on in the Imperial
5?
lifespan.
6?
It was relatively early, I think.
Was it that early? Was it that early? So, how has this fucking robot survived for 18,000 years and nobody's fucking noticed?
Like, I require these repairs.
Can someone take those words that Michael just said and put them over a picture of a really smug Trace in the Infinite?
How has this robot survived so long?
This metallic son of a bitch has survived for 18,000 years, and basically, you are fucking stupid. How? Watch the free video.
Tech Priest
One
sees him.
weird trick. The weird trick is selling your soul to sun demons.
Sun demons.
Sun demons. The Katana now just sun demons. Fucking deal with it.
They're fart clouds, but anyway.
Spooky sun demon fart clouds.
Sun-eating fart clouds, yes.
Yeah,
I was about to say, Rem, this is why we
clouds,
don't. This is why you don't get hired to be a marketing director, because you'd just be completely honest.
This is why you don't invite me in the first.
Yeah, the Katana trying to rebrand themselves as sun demons, just to spread things out and maybe broaden the demographic. And you fucking
Age of sun demons.
you just straight up go nah, the fucking fart clouds, man. The fart clouds are here.
The fart clouds have arrived.
Yeah.
They're gonna ruin your day.
Yeah.
Look out. He's gonna fart at you. Oh no. Shit, when did I become Kiwi? So I've broken into Connor's room and I'm already stealing shit like his torches.
Get that back.
No, it's my torch now.
This is turning into the Fresh Carl cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I commented on it before, but...
It begins. So, before this tangento, please continue.
Yeah, is this probably a good time to wrap up the design conversation?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, probably. Is there anything else in the news? Because we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes already.
Warhammer Horror to cover as well.
I don't think
they
we've covered the
announced some stuff
entirety of
for
the news. Yeah, there's Warhammer Horror. The Christmas Battle Forces, I need to talk about that before the end of the episode. Right. Okay, so Christmas is a month and a bit away, and they put out 10 battle forces. They do this every year. Last year there were 8, this year there's 10.
Space Marines.
Can you guess what factions they've put out for them?
And Tau.
Correct.
Woo!
There are 2 Primaris battle forces, and a Death Guard one.
Imperial
So
Fists.
3 lots of Space Marines, plus...
If that one's not Primaris, though, isn't it? So
That's
that's regular.
Space Marines.
Is it? Oh. I thought it was just regular one. I must have.
No,
I
it is.
saw a bloody
No,
picture
it's
of
got a
it,
Redemptor
so-
in there.
Regular Marines are no more. Primary forever.
Yeah, I mean, just it's the Age of Sigmar ones I've got a bigger problem with, but
There's an
let me
Admech
see if I can
one,
just
isn't
find
there?
the 40k ones again while I remind myself, because there's only like I think there might be Admech, so that's 3 Imperials. Let me have a look. I should have been more prepared for this. Here we go. So Primaris, Death Guard, Primaris, Admech. Oh, come on, load, you stupid thing. Load! Here we go. And then we have Necrons and we have Craft Worlds. Yay. So, 3 Imperial, Eldar, Necrons, and Chaos. That's not bad. I mean, double Space Marines is a bit daft, but then Age of Sigmar gets 4, 40k gets 6, and AOS gets 4, and 3 of them are fucking Order, and 2 of
For a
them are
minute, I thought you were going to
Elves.
say 3 of them are Stormcast.
I'm gonna just point out it is
None
very
of them are
much in tradition.
Stormcast.
No,
It's
there's no
very much in
Stormcast.
tradition to do elven things at Christmas. You know.
Not this year.
Oh, you son of a bitch, Connor.
Yeah, but 50% of the battle forces are elves, and no destruction faction got one. Chaos got the most recycled crap you've ever seen. Death didn't get anything, so no skelly boxes. And the other one is Lizardmen, which is the oldest army
they
in the
should've
game
done
at this
Then you
point.
Fucks, no.
Just like,
What they should have done, they
Right.
should have just released a box that just had a model of Gotrek Gunnarsson and have released that as a battle force.
Just one guy.
I mean, they could have made a Gotcha Gurnison model and then put him in
They
Fire
had
Slayers.
little
They could
electronics
have.
to the base, so every
could
time you
have
press
done
a
that, and
button,
it would
it
have
has a
been
Brian
awesome.
Blessed quote.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry to meme, but 40k Battle Force Slime Arbo in just a really big box.
The large box is just containment.
Oh, speaking of Brian Blessed, do you guys know that he once punched a polar bear in the face? That is true.
Oh.
That's legit, by the way. It's not a joke. It's
Yeah.
legit. He actually once did that.
Yeah, I think like I heard about that at some point.
I feel like I've heard that before.
Didn't he also like hang out with Rage 19 a lot? That animator guy.
That I didn't know.
He's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, God, it's been a while since I've heard that name.
Sorry, I just heard Brian Blessed and was like, hang on a fucking second.
So, I think it might actually be time to go to questions now, Michael, considering the time.
Question time.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, how's my... Okay, good connection's working again. Okay. So, during the Battle of Rin's World, the one with the Crimson Fists, was the missile that destroyed the Crimson Fist Fortress Monastery really an accident, or was it a plot by the Inquisition, Assassinorum, or some other faction? Because there's the rumor goes around that the
I have
Assassinorum
no
was
idea. I haven't actually
responsible,
looked
but...
into the Battle of Rin's World.
No, I've not looked into it that hard, but I do know
Why
that the
would- why
Assassinorum
would the Assassinorum
are
blow up the
suspected
Fortress Monastery?
as being
I
responsible.
mean, if Watchers of the Throne is anything to go by, the Assassinorum will fuck with the future of humanity if it means them just showing off their big dick. So
That big bullet firing, brain exploding dick.
yeah.
I mean, it could have been that they were trying to hack it so that it would do something without the Crimson Fist knowing and got it wrong, hence it blew up the Fortress Monastery.
Wait, fuck, we're
which
going
is-
the wrong way!
So we don't...
Yeah, I can see that happening. Good old 40k tech, where it's so unreliable, sometimes hitting something with a stick works better.
Snake, what are you doing?
I'm charging him with a power sword.
In fairness, hitting things, if they're not working, is actually a legitimate form of praise in the Mechanicus.
Yeah.
It's a ritual, the ritual blow to the side of the casing.
Yep, good old ritual of percussive maintenance. on a tangential point, that's in like a shitload of official military manuals for fixing equipment. Give it a good smack before you take it into the armourer.
40k is proving once again to be quite accurate to life, despite all of its weird little quirks. And that's why I'm really looking forward to getting my power armor tomorrow.
Was it made by Elon Musk, was it?
Yeah. I mean, he's got time. He's already building a Gundam. He's going to be...
Yeah.
He's got some metal to spare.
He's already trying
He's
to,
making a Space Marine Gundam Catgirl,
usurp the moon.
all with an anime series of its own. Next question,
Could
Michael.
Elon Musk build a Titan? That is the question.
I think it would probably straight up cripple him
Probably.
in terms like financially, but he could manage it.
He'd probably cripple him like physically as well.
Well,
This is a man who wants us to go and live on
there we
Mars.
go.
I think he can
Why
manage
wait for the
a
Mechanicus to be
giant
founded
walking
on Mars?
murder
We can
bot.
bring it to Mars. Just
Fucking Christ!
you just make the Titan first and blast it up there. And if anyone asks, because we'll just say it's a reference to the Iron Giant, and
Fucking
just
like deorbit a fucking Titan just onto Mars. Like, yeah, there's no way this could go wrong. Oh fuck, it's going wrong. KSP didn't prepare me for this.
It just plummets back into the Earth and kills a whole bunch of people.
Well, like the end of fucking that Dragon Ball Z thing that Oni did, where he just crashed into the planet.
yo, did it Goku? Yeah, man. Honestly, if I was to die by being crushed by a Titan falling from the sky, I'd die happy.
So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen.
I would prefer to die getting blown whilst skydiving.
That.
By a Titan?
Yes.
Anyway, so welcome.
So that was the outline for the next Ian Watson novel.
Yeah.
As life drained from my eyes, the metal... No, I'm not even going to bother.
Let's not go here.
I'm not doing this.
Let's not do this.
Not as bad as that line.
Let's
What's
not
that?
do
The
this.
the porridge of despair or
Okay,
something. There's a line, wasn't it?
Sugar on the porridge of death,
That's it. Yeah.
which is what I mentally say to myself every time I make breakfast in the morning, because living off porridge.
Hey, it beats me. I'm living on protein shakes. Student life!
So yeah, next question.
Okay, a little bit of a stretch probably this one, but I just thought it would be worth answering. We're to get some speculation. Do you believe the old
No,
ones
it was
possibly
reset
made the Tyranids as a sort of reset button?
Oh, the Nids.
The Nids.
I mean,
Wouldn't put it past
Like, I find it unlikely. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Assholes who'd be like, yeah, let's fucking kill everything. That works.
Yeah, the catch is though the old ones died before they left.
at the same
They
time,
were
though,
wiped out twice.
they are the kind of species that go, right, so this has become a problem, let's make an entire race to deal with it.
And let's forget to put an off switch because long-term planning is not our big ideal.
Though ironically, if the Tyranids were answer the second or answer the third to the Necrons, they kind of fucked it up because the
unless you
Tyranids
actually
avoid
look at the
two
actual
worlds.
maps, because the actual maps actually show them going towards Tomb Worlds.
Gotta eat those Necrons. Just get the metal skin.
Literally, if you overlay the maps between the Hive Fleets and the Tomb Worlds, there is literally they literally overlap.
Actually, speaking of that, considering the Necroni flesh is living metal, and that's basically an ore that exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a special magic super series made by the Catan thing. It's a material that is had. Does that mean the Nids could technically evolve it?
We believe so.
I did a video on it.
And that's a question that's been around for a while.
Necroni skin.
But yeah, as you can see in the chat there, I put a little thing, basically, all the Hive Fleets and all the major Tomb World locations, overlap.
Oh shit, you're not wrong.
I mean, they're from 4th edition, but fair point.
It goes back to that whole thing, which you can agree on it as a mentality or not, but the whole thing of if they've not said anything since, it's still canon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason I attempted to clarify it is because obviously the Necrons had the massive 5th edition sort of pseudo-retcon, which...
It was quite...
No, because it was mentioned in the 5th edition rulebook, at least in the copy I have, at least. I know, but the actual
The fifth
the
edition
actual
rulebook
retcon was
was
mentioned in their
like
first
3
wasn't
years before the Necron Codex, where they... What, the whole Overlord business? I don't remember the old Overlords and overthrowing
not everything. No, but there was changes from the original third
the
edition.
fifth ed rulebook.
There was some changes already there in place. So,
I mean, looking at the map there, like where Highfleet Behemoth is, that is Sautek space, and that bit up to the north with Jormungandr, I think that's Nearlark space. But so okay, there's parallels. Although I'd be hesitant to use that map. I'd rather look at the 8th ed maps that are in their codices now to see how well they overlap. Just because I know about the 5th ed retcon.
These things have a bit of overlap. It's more so that you can have more scenarios where you're like, why are the Tyranids and the Necrons fighting? Because here they are.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I've got the Orc map here. Looking at all that, and yeah, like Sharadon and the Sautek dynasty just overlap each other completely. The Grand Warlord is broadly in that northeastern region. You've got the Mighty Mangler of Bork. You've got some massive pile of orcs around Baal that's not named. One Nazdreg's up to the northwest, and then you've got Wazdak who's just driving past Terra like a madman.
Codex, he's going towards the Tau Empire. Surely he should be in the southeast now.
It says that he's been driven toward the galactic north by the opening of the Great Rift, like implying he was on the wrong side.
Because it does say
yeah,
that.
I mean, Nazdreg has missed the teleporter, so if anyone could do
by
it.
a bunch of pirate gits.
The orcs' competitiveness is
So
probably
he's gone to
one of
raid the
their
Farsight on
greatest
Claves.
qualities, just in terms of narrative potential.
Yeah, and they don't talk much about him, but Wazdaka, they go on about how if an orc goes fast enough,
they go to the
they
Speed
can
Force.
sort of see Wazdaka in the distance.
Just enjoying
like-
the smoothness of the Speed Force orcs.
Yeah.
Sorry, I kind of curled up into a fetal position, held my head in my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the fucking orcs, particularly now, seem to be getting their shit together more and more, and that's definitely kind of alarming.
Beast 2.0.
I mean, that to be fair, I thought Gazgul might get redone into sort of a primal sort of beast type thing. I wasn't sure how they were going to
I can't
portray
really
Gazgul.
imagine GW
They haven't,
making,
but they
a
could have done.
stomper-sized Gazgul model for a while.
No, but they could have gone up to a
You're a big
Dreadnought,
boy now.
or a slightly. I mean, by the end of the Armageddon War, he was the knobs could get to the size of a Dreadnought.
Whoa,
So Gazgul must be massive to still be in charge.
Big skull.
Give me a second. I might have a relevant image. Yeah, there we go. Sweet.
Is it him going to be going, Mummy, well, I'm a big boy now?
No.
It's beautiful.
Oh, that's the Detra that's in my Games Workshop.
Holy shit.
I want one.
My store manager has one of those. He's got like a full display case just of his orcs. It's amazing.
Been showing me his orcs more recently, which he's made kind of an orc warband that's sort of directly competing with the Catachans, so they've got pretty similar elements to them on them. So
We don't wear shirts. Don't orcs normally not wear shirts? Shut up.
we wear vests though. That's the difference.
Have they got little headbands?
They did. One of them I saw had a little headband, and I fucking adored it.
Do they go up to the couch and go, you call that a knife? This is a knife.
Call that a chopper?
Call that a sticker.
See, here's
Chopper.
the question. Do orc bikers call their bikes choppers? And does that confuse the regular orc boys?
I think we've broken Warhammer.
Oh, actually, I've got a funny quote actually from a warbiker in here. I just need to find it quickly. It talks about how he's just going to see the mech boy and he's had his bike all spruced up, got it built exactly to specification, painted it proper red, just like I told him, biggest guns he could find. Jobs are good, right? Trouble is, he put brakes on it, like, for stopping with. What do you think I am, some kind of grot? He used to say I knocked his head off. That's his skull on the front.
More like, he got it all nice,
So, like,
made
orcs.
good and proper, all made specification. Then he turned the engine on, blew up.
Specification. Walks away from the flaming wreck. That was perfect.
No, he had the temerity to put brakes on
take
it.
10.
See, they'll be seeing our bikes and they'll be expecting us to be fast. But then
Go
we'll
fast,
explode instead.
nice and...
They'll never see it coming.
Explosions make it go faster. Because it's a big red
Nothing
explosion.
goes faster than an explosion. Just ask the Storm Boys.
That's a good point.
So next question.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah, questions, crap. Well, let's go back to Necrons. What is the thing you would most like to see being found in Trazian's archive?
Personally, I would like to see the actual unedited last decree of the Emperor. That would be amusing.
Is this what, like, great secret or something that we're alright, okay, so here's mine. We get rid of half the lore so that I don't know anything anymore. And I have the magic of rediscovering Warhammer again. No.
Enjoying playing Dark Crusade on easy mode.
Oh fuck. No. I actually don't really have an answer for this.
You found
Like a
Captain
legitimate
Johnny.
Okay. Captain Johnny needs to, look. Someday that's my goal, is to one day get Captain Johnny to be canon. And if I die before that, then I will die upset. My body will reanimate as a revenant that will
Agitatedly scream.
Yeah, and will continue its rotting life trying to get Captain Johnny to
Just round away
there'll just be a
workshop with a little trumpet.
There'll just be a cameo scene in a novel where a space ranger just walks into like a canteen. Captain Johnny's sitting there eating a barbecue sauce sandwich.
Marines have the strangest tastes.
He puts his combat knife in it.
Just stabs the entire sandwich. God, would it be a marine-sized sandwich, though? So it's like the size of a regular guy's head?
Probably, yeah. Like,
It's a one big fucking sandwich.
so pretty much the portions that they have at Warhammer World, then.
It's an entire loaf of bread just filled with barbecue sauce.
just marinated in it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny, we had ADB on last time, and he was saying that like, the two famous references
fucking
for
golden,
Master of Mankind,
yeah.
the whole mist being the wrong colour,
apparently
and
that was a complete
Kaitan, the Captain
coincidence.
General. Neither of them were references.
Wow.
What?
Because the Webboy
was a
art has
complete
the mist
coincidence.
being gold, but the old Webboy description from Bill King was blue.
So it's the thing from years ago where there was the
yeah,
direct-
we're not sure if it was gold or blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Yeah. And Kaitan was a complete
he wished he didn't know, so he
not
could claim he
reference
did.
because he didn't know what TTS was at the time. But it was just like...
Any other questions?
Yeah, let's go with this one. So how does gene seed hybridization actually work? Is it just a matter of take some organs from one legion, take the rest from another legion,
They put it
or do they
into a
mix them
cocktail
before
shaker
implantation, and how does it sort of
ice
work, like with Honsu and that
Pour
one?
out.
And they put it in a Magi mixture and blend that a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yep, out of the newly formed paste.
And then grow
They
18
probably,
separate organs
considering
back out
what
of
I've
it.
seen of like 40k's like gene editing shit. There's a few artworks that have like a guy scanning through actual like DNA strands looking for like mutations. That implies that the Imperium has the ability to identify and probably edit DNA strands directly. So gene seed, like, hybridization is probably we'll take 2 gene seeds, plonk them down next to each other, and just copy code from one to the other.
Basically, like that scene from Jurassic Park with a little...
Basically. Life finds a way.
You know, that little animation from
we're
Jurassic
doing
Park
that
with
now.
little Mr. DNA, where he's plugging up the dinosaur DNA with frog DNA. It's probably just that.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I've just found an entire tub of green food colouring next to Thunder's bed. And I'm
What?
kind of horrified.
I bought it for Halloween to make some cakes with, and I didn't have a place to put it, so it's now beside my bed.
Okay, so you weren't using it for, like, Hulk lube or something.
That implies I get laid.
Oh, Christ. That's sad for all parties involved. Jesus.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thunder doesn't get laid.
Who would have thought?
I mean, seriously, us fucking Titanic mega nerds is absolutely in high demand right now.
Everyone's going to be declaring their love or lust for you, Thunder, don't worry.
I'm expecting Jack Machai to be, like, in the thing, just like, you fuckers!
Yeah, sorry, some of our housemates who know us.
So, any more questions? I ruin your show any further by
let's
showing
see.
up.
Oh, this should be an interesting
That's
discussion.
okay, I already did.
If
This isn't even my final
you've
showing
already
up.
shown up, so
God.
I don't have a form.
So, if it ever comes to pass that the Emperor's children get a standalone codex, which they may not, do you think they would get a equivalent to like Zangors, Poxwalkers, and the like? The other thing this person can suggest is Fabius's new men, but that reintegrates Fabius with the Legion, which he isn't because he's exiled from the Legion. And so, is there any other things in lore that would go along with like the equivalents to Zangors, Poxwalkers, and the
I
like?
think they're called.
Is there a Slaneshi Beastman that we know about?
Because you got Korgors, Zangors, Pestigors, and Slagors, I think.
Yeah, I haven't heard the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weird
I think
that
Nurgle
they're
sounds
not
too much
called
like
Nurgles
Nurgles,
for the
but
sake
I
of
don't know, so-
consistency, but
When anything gets a release, when you get like a codex supplement, I do like seeing new units for them and not just sort of
The same ones with new war gear.
yeah. So I think it would be cool to have some new sort of like stuff for the Emperor's children.
They have been kind of abandoned for 7 trillion years, so
Yeah.
to give them something that isn't like just another, oh well, it's just a different colour scheme for an existing Chaos Slaneshi unit.
I mean, at least they're not as abandoned as the bloody Iron Hands. You're somehow in the most like overexposed faction in Warhammer, and you get fucking nothing for ages.
Yeah, it did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, holy shit!
have they got a
okay.
supplement?
Doesn't that something on your face?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I'm talking about in
Clan Roll
general. Like, I still have the memories fresh in my mind of the whole like Praetors of Orpheus bullshit about the Space Marines that have great mechanical prowess and have the amazing tanks. And it's like, what about Iron Hands? It's like, no.
Hey, remember when Black Templars had a codex?
Ah, what days they were. Ah. Back in my day, 4th edition was the greatest. That's why we should.
3rd edition!
You damn whippersnapper don't know shit! It was the road trader days that were the best!
Not playing.
It was actually third, but never mind.
Not playing H.G. Wells' Small Soldiers game from 1901. What are you, a pleb?
No,
Well-
I'm watching Small Soldiers on VHS!
Oh, okay.
Ooh, VHS not watching on Laserdisc.
Well, I'm sorry, not everyone could buy a Laserdisc after buying a fucking Betamax. This could go on.
Could
for
afford
ages.
3mm.
I got myself a 5-inch floppy disk. It has 200 megabytes on it. That's a lot of data.
Is it one of the actually floppy ones?
Yeah, I think the 5 inches were. Yeah. Yeah, 5 inches were literally like the big floppy CDs. And it's like, why have I got this? He's so dumb.
I'm just gonna show up with one of those like little like sliced cheese things that they have for burgers.
Basically. It held about as much data as one of those, to be honest. It was like, what, 1.4 megabytes?
I'm head
200 kilobytes.
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna headcanon that that's what data is stored on in 40k.
Cheese.
Yeah,
Just cheese wafers.
pretty much. Metal
So,
cheese
questions?
Yeah, let's do this one. When a new Space Marine chapter is created, is the chapter master recruited from the chapter that's been used to found it, the primogenitor, in order to have a veteran commander in charge, or is it just sort of some random? I mean, with the second founding, it definitely is, because Pollux was, Sigismund was, and several others were. But I don't know about in the later foundings, where they just create them from, oh, right, we're just going to use these people's gene seed. Excuse me,
it's okay,
Mr. Chapter or
cloning
Legion,
about
can we
the
have one of your
I
commanders
mean,
now? No!
Don't worry about it, bye.
I mean, I would have thought it would make sense to take a commander from the main chapter, but at the same time, like, you've obviously got to fill out that position later, and you know, a good commander is a good asset. You know, you're not really going to want to just take.
Maybe they have to take an exam.
Oh God, Space Marines studying for their finals.
One of the things that I think, personally, is that making a new chapter isn't like new chapter made. It's a very long process with a lot of, like, cloning and whatnot. And I mean, with that in mind, some of the earliest runs
It's years long.
Marines made probably could have enough experience and training and, like, background in the field to, you know, stand up and be like, yeah, I'm the captain now.
Look at me, I'm the captain now.
Yeah, I could just imagine the Adeptus Terra sending an astropath message to let's say Ultramar. Someone is Calga. Would you mind? We'd quite like first Captain Agaman to become the chapter master. No!
Look at me. Look at me. I am the chapter master now.
Sicarius, maybe. Yeah. Not Agaman.
Yeah.
Are you drinking that food colouring or something?
I wish.
Well, time to chug some tropical sun.
Don't do it. You're gonna be shitting green like an orc on fucking curry night.
You know, I was going to contest that, but you're not wrong, and that angers me. It's not the fact that you're wrong, it's the fact that you're right, and I hate it.
Don't chug the food colouring then, you fool.
But they've already tempted me.
Don't!
Do it!
I own this room by decree as the king of this prison. I mean, house.
No!
I'm usurping you to chug the food colouring.
Please don't actually.
Oh god, no, I'm not chugging the food colouring. Oh god, it smells horrible.
Never back down to the back down. Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Backing down.
Leave your comments down below if you want to see Dr. White chug the bottle of food colouring. It's on my channel, you don't get to say this.
No! Hang on, you can just basically gate crash on my channel, but I try and protest when you just look on yours, and it's completely
that's okay.
beyond my control.
If you want.
How does that fucking work?
Well, you see, the reason is...
I think what we should do is that we should do a big brother.
You've got about 5 times as many subscribers, that's
the
why.
viewers can ring in and vote.
Decide whether or not I should chug the food colouring.
Well, I was going to say more to evict someone and replace us, and just have like a continuing, Oh, buddy.
Do you realise that the answer is always
podcast.
me in that? The answer is always me.
Oh,
no. I mean...
Do you think that would stop some of the comments?
Stick YouTube comments. Is it just me, or has it gotten worse lately?
You see, it's weird,
Not
because
really.
for me, I haven't found that's the case. I think it's improved over the last year, at least. I mean, even then, I'm one of those people who... I think I'm a rare breed where I don't hate comment sections, partly because I really like my own.
Yeah, I generally quite like my comments, apart from the fact that every fourth person seems to think I shouldn't have any hair anymore and that I'm going bald and it's driving me nuts. But, yeah, generally the comments have been fine. I think some do... I don't know. I think this problem is that the analytics and the algorithms are such a mess that trying to keep track of a consistency with the comments is like...
Thunder, don't have
you can't keep
to
track of anything anymore.
All right. This is where you get Charlie and Jack to strap me down and do the Hanoi Hilton. That's fucking.
It's been 50
episodes. Coming
episodes.
up. It's gonna be fun.
Okay. So donate $10 to the podcast's Patreon to Chinese water torture me with green food coloring that Dr. White totally didn't actually try to taste while we were talking about YouTube.
It tastes fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think you found your next sequel to Lunchtime.
We've already filmed it.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can have a second sequel, trilogy.
Yeah,
to expand the extended universe.
Lunchtime 2-2. Well, we'll do the Final Fantasy thing. We'll have a 2-2.
No, it's clearly part of the Lunchtime cinematic universe.
No, I suppose so. Yeah, it's like a tangential sort of side story.
Yeah, it's like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of
So
Lunchtime.
not Lunchtime 3, Rise of the Squits.
No.
Fucking hell.
Hotel.
What the hell is the Avengers gonna be? Is it just gonna be a buffet?
Stop
Yes.
overcomplicating this. Just accept the joke and go with it.
No!
No.
Avengers Age of Dinner.
Make me a sandwich? No.
Age of dinner. Fucking hell. Any more Fantablioso questions or
Let's have a look, shall we? I'm just seeing this.
Keep an eye on the time as well, though.
Interesting. I'm trying to find something that will get a quite long discussion going. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get one long one in. Okay, this should be an interesting one to finish on. With the melding of Primaris into the various chapters, do you think that in lore, not on tabletop, in lore, we'll get Grey Knight Primaris?
This is where we go full Dragon
Because I don't know
Ball,
if the Grey
isn't
Knight
it?
Codex talks about it at all.
Oh boy, we gotta...
This is what it's like to go even further beyond.
Yeah, sorry, what I mean by that is just the whole, like, the only way we defeat the villain of this next arc is that we have the next level of this thing, and then we have to have a higher level and a higher level. It's just more,
Or we summon a time-traveling copy of ourselves that's from like another timeline, because fucking plot!
Yeah, no, but like, this is... I'll be straightforward with you guys, and I might seem like I'm living my life from 2 years in the past, but I'm not that fond of Primaris, primarily because it like the whole power escalation thing of better and better and better. I think one of the guys in the TTS work chat said it best in the way that I agree with, which is that the Emperor's Finest shouldn't really be the 4th best, and given that we have Primaris Marines that are now better than Space Marines, we have the Grey Knights, and we have the Adeptus Custodes, Primaris Grey Knights is just gonna get weird. I mean,
I would have thought if they were going to introduce Grey Knight Primaris, they would have actually done it with the Grey Knight Codex, considering that came out after the Space Marine one.
Yeah, like
Something
it's odd that we
Emperor's
didn't
Gene
see them,
Seed.
given that we know Gilliman worked with the Grey Knights.
Own ass. They must have the firmest butt cheeks in the galaxy. No,
Yeah.
Have you
The
ever
thing
created a starty with 8 asses?
I think the part that will really hold it back, like, it may not be the actual cloning process of making a Grey Knight that's made out of a Primaris's, like, gene seed, their various mutations. The armor, though, considering the Grey Knight armor is massively, like, carefully crafted out of slightly out of date Space Marine armor from the get-go and then modify it outwards. I don't think Big Daddy Core would have actually gone, oh, maybe I should have made a version of that. 'Cause I don't think he understands half the shit they do. So they're going to have to like take existing Primaris Marine armor and like retrograde it to have their level of like runic protection. And at that point, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, no, we can't fucking do it because the armor's basically impossible to change.
I mean, it's got to be something to do with more the tech side, because from a genetic level, there really isn't any issue because, you know, the Exorcists are Primaris and they're a Grey Knight successor.
Yeah.
They can do it. Also, Cole works with the Emperor on the gene seed and the black carapax. If anyone can do it,
considering
it's
Red
Cole.
Armor is like fucking runic as shit and absolutely covered in prayers and refinements.
Well, that's what the Aegis suit's for. They just put it into, you know, some of the Mark 10 armor, just make it a new Aegis suit.
Oh yeah, but I
just feel like it'd take a lot longer for them to pull out that kind of thing, and it probably would be in a small batch.
they've had 200 years as far as the plot's concerned. It's not, we're not like the day after Gilliman woke up anymore. It's 200 years later. Primaris are so run of the mill now. That
Come on, give
it's
us
like,
time, use the bigger boys.
It's like, why are you being so archaic, Grey Knights?
Probably.
Yeah, how is he? Yeah. Actually, speaking of the Grey Knights, since we're on the topic, did we ever find out what the fuck is in that letter they've got? Because I heard there was some
Terminus decree.
Yeah, that freaky decree they've got.
Which one?
Wasn't that? Yeah, wasn't that?
There's actually another question
end
about
up
that.
being,
The whole
the Talisman of Seven
potential
Hells?
Emperor's off switch.
Yeah, that was a terminus. That was basically the off switch
Which
of
was
the Golden
made
Throne.
10,000 years
Vulcan
prior.
built to plug into the Golden Throne, and then everything went on fire.
That's fucking anticlimactic. I was expecting it to be something like, kill Gilliman, he's a heretic, or something, you know? Oh, shit. You know, something that
By reading
real
this document, Aegis Sigmar is now part of the 40k universe, and Sigmar and the Emperor are the same being.
God
Not
damn it.
again.
Man.
Jesus Christ. How many Doritos do you own?
Enough to survive the winter.
That's a lot of chocolate oranges as well.
I bought them because they were cheap.
Sorry.
If you're running
just
for
looked
Doritos, that means you're just dipping it in the green food colouring.
Green Doritos.
To make it taste like Mountain Dew or something.
I've just looked up for the first time and like, you know one of those scenes like Alien where they look up and the roof is dripping and everyone's like, oh my god! It's like that. I've just looked up and it's just a sea of Doritos and chocolate oranges.
Look, when they're a pound...
Why's he got Doritos on the
ceiling?
ceiling?
They're not on the ceiling. They're in a cupboard.
No, they're clearly stapled to the ceiling so they can hang down and intimidate people.
Can we just... Okay, I'm enjoying the way that you're painting the picture of my room, and I think I'm going to roll with it. So the Doritos do hang from my ceiling, and they are... every year at Christmas, I hang them from the tree like baubles.
This is so off topic, I'm really sorry.
I mean, it's a fair comment. I do have a really weird room.
Does it
my
include
green
like a
food.
Shadow Sun body pillow or something?
No. It's going to be Sod's Law that Alexis has that as well, doesn't she?
She has the one of you and Shadow Sun.
Oh.
But James, why?
Because I know she's got one of Kitten, and I know she's got one of Magnus. I didn't know she
And
has...
Zoran.
And there's one of Zoran?
Yeah.
Holy crap, okay.
But James, why?
I think the only reason I haven't been given a Shadow Sun body pillow is because I haven't told anyone. I haven't given anyone a PO box.
Yeah, no one knows you exist out here. If it wasn't for like, actually, on that topic, it was
Probably. That's probably very
Silicon
true.
Levels, absolute pure chance. That I was like, hey, Thunder, I'm moving to university in the same town as you. Oh, that's funny. Where are you moving? Oh, such and such street. You're fucking kidding me. I'm 2 hours down from you. We're literally in the same block of flats. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Just you ring the doorbell going, Thunder, you want to play
We
Call of
guessed by the
Duty?
barging in.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I sometimes roll over to Dr. White's house and eat his cup of soups.
You eat my cup of soups until Jack cooks you real food. And then he mocks me that I didn't feed you properly. Well, why do I have to feed you?
I mean, they did say that they used to have a pet cat that would visit the flat, and now I guess I'm it now. So
Yeah, but they give you good food.
I don't know. I'm going to ask Jack if he makes that kind of food for the actual cat that was there.
What, like a fucking bagel with Sorry, again, off topic, complete. This could be talked about tomorrow.
Yes, I think we're going to call that a night there. So, thank you to everyone who joined us for this episode of Adeptus Podcastus. And, indeed,
I'm sorry I ruined your evening, everyone.
I'm sorry I ruined your evening, everyone.
So leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down below if you want to see Dr. White drink the food colouring. Until next time, this has been Remleiz from 40k Theories.
And I'm here too.
This has been Tactica Imperialis.
What the fuck was that?
It's Dr. White crying.
It sounded like he was constipated.
It's been really good fun.
But anyway, yes.
And that's us signing off.
Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.